Jade. 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 Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Let me close my door. Anglesman, Finland. You're here no matter what time I start. How is that? I start at 10 a.m. You're here. I start at 5 p.m. You're here. It's late. And I got a whole bunch of other people. That's amazing. 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 And I think the quality of my connection is a whole lot better. But you have to verify that for me. If anyone's been on my previous streams and you're looking at this and thinking, "Hey, it's a lot better," let me know. Let me know that because I would definitely like to know. Yeah, I know it's magic. Notifications, magic. Let's see. One other thing I need to check. Let me make sure that I am. Oh, gosh. 1 a.m. UK time. Go to sleep. Let's see. All right. Let's see. One more check of something over here. So it seems that I've got a. You pinged as I was heading to bed. There's some drama going on outside in the in the garage. It seems that my daughter is going out somewhere. I don't know. Just about to watch your rag Olama video. Yay, great. Yeah, it's a little bit different this time because it's more focused on like how do I say like the concepts of rag rather than how to actually implement that'll come in future videos in the Olama course. I wanted to get the basics um, of rag kind of defined, and then we can go into more details a little bit later. Okay, let's bring up my notes in Obsidian for today. And let's see, for the news, one interesting bit of news, well, two interesting bits of news. I finally hit 30,000 subscribers on YouTube, so that's pretty cool. Your daughter is breaking your photo developing machine. I don't have a photo developing machine, but I wouldn't. I remember actually. I remember. I was very excited when who was it? Jobo. Jobo was this company that makes, I don't know, maybe they still do, a lot of photography equipment. And I seem to remember they had like a film processor that was a little bit outside of my price range at the time when I was really into this stuff. But I used to do my own film development and for black and white because color you have to keep it at the same temperature, but black and white stuff. And I used to buy film rolls in 100 foot lengths, I think it was. You would, and I had a large film back for my, who was it, OM2S or one of the Nikons that I had, which was amazing. Anyway, unrelated to any of this. Anyway, so I hit 30,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is pretty exciting. And then I saw, coincidentally, I mean, back in January, I was at 4,000. Now I'm at 30,000. But I was kind of hanging out at 4,000 for a few years. Um, but I started on YouTube roughly about a week ago. It was my 18th anniversary on YouTube. I had created an account 18 years ago, 18 years and about a week ago. Um, but I finally started really focusing on it in the last 6 months or so, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, coming up to 9 months. All right, let's take a look at some of the news. The first one, let's share my screen. Do a little inception here. Coming up. Share. There we go. So NVIDIA, NVIDIA released their earnings just a little while ago, a couple hours ago, and it's all good. It's all good for NVIDIA. Things went up. They did better than they expected, and so based on all of everything I've learned, having worked for a company that went public, and have a bunch of stock in that company still, I always pay attention to when earnings is released, and whenever I see an earnings report that looks kind of like what Nvidia released, I know it's like, okay, well, time for the stock to go way down. So that's what always happens with Datadog. Super promising earnings report, stock tanks. So I assume the same thing's going to happen with NVIDIA. It looks like actually it's down 5% in after hours trading because of the really good outlook. But yeah, I never understand it. At least with Datadog, you kind of expect it because most traders have no idea what. Hold on. Hi. What's up? Oh, hi. Stella, I'm on a stream right now. Sorry. Yeah. So let's move on. In California, we've kind of talked about one bill around AI governance or AI restrictions, but then there's another bill that actually passed in the Senate in California. It's heading to the governor's desk about protection for folks that are in movie studios or actors or other creative talent that would require studios, streamers, and other employers to seek specific permission from performers to create digital replicas. So that voice and likeness rights in an age of digital replication must have strong guardrails around licensing to protect from abuse. So it's just interesting that passed, and we'll see if apparently it could go either way, whether Governor Newsom will approve it or like sign it. So we'll see what goes on there. And I got a comment on one of my recent streams where I talked about, I don't know, I talked about all sorts of things, and the person was like, "Oh, don't ever talk about politics on a stream." It's like, come on, we're all grown ups, we can handle it. So yeah, so there's a bill, and this is definitely politics. So that's interesting. Let's see, protection. Oh, and then I've got another article basically confirming this one's CNN Business, but NVIDIA once again beat out Wall Street expectations, and so therefore shares dipped. All things good, so therefore stock market doesn't like it. I don't know why I had those two separate, but let's move on. Oh, what do we got here? One good thing with NVIDIA, the 4060 8 gig uses a lot less power than other budget AI gaming cards. Yeah, I really want to get into that side, the PC, Windows / Linux, and dealing with NVIDIA cards and maybe AMD cards. I'm working on something. Maybe I'll be able to start getting into that soon, because I'd love to. I mean, right now I'm all Mac, and so it's a very different kind of thing that I have to know about. It's just simpler, but it would be neat to understand that stuff. Here's an interesting thing. Bentley Gallup survey. Yeah, sure, whatever. Bentley survey, or Bentley University, and Gallup did a survey about artificial intelligence, and top level results. Americans continue to see few upsides using AI in business. Majority of Americans, 56%, believe AI has a net neutral effect, doing equal amounts of harm and good. But they're more than twice as likely to believe it does more harm than good, as they are to believe the good of AI outweighs the harms. So, anyway, yeah. Um, and then there's got all sorts of interesting little factoids. Usually these summaries of a report from anyone, it seems to like show a top level point and then a few little snippets of nothingness, and then that's the end of the article. But this actually is like every paragraph has something interesting. Nearly 2/3 of Americans who were surveyed. How many people were surveyed? It was 5,835 U.S. adults during the week of April 29th to May 6th. Web-based survey. So I don't know who actually signs up to do this. But 2/3 of Americans report being at least somewhat knowledgeable about AI, which is interesting. I don't know what that means. Maybe it just means that they have heard of ChatGPT, which, okay, I think my mother has heard of ChatGPT, but I would not classify her as knowledgeable about AI. Including 9% say they are extremely knowledgeable. But knowledge drops off sharply among those aged 60 and older. Men are more likely than women to say they're at least somewhat knowledgeable. And then 3/4 of Americans say AI will reduce the number of jobs in the country over the next 10 years, the same as the percentage who said so last year. It'll be interesting to see if that actually is true. Total number of jobs. It will definitely reduce some jobs, but create additional new jobs. So it'll be interesting to see if the jobs number over the next 10 years actually goes down rather than just being shifted around like usually happens with any sort of new technology. 7 in 10 of those who are extremely knowledgeable have little to no trust in businesses to use AI responsibly, which I find bizarre. At least 8 in 10 adults are concerned about using AI for hiring decisions, driving vehicles, and recommending medical advice. Okay. I mean, getting medical advice as an initial medical advice, all the advice we get when we open up our web browser and go to WebMD or something like that, and then eventually, hopefully, you go to a real doctor if it's serious. Americans most frequently say companies should be transparent about how AI is being used. So anyway, it's just an interesting survey. Yeah, somewhat related to that, I saw something about was it on? It might have been like on X. All sorts of weird garbage you see on X. But Wendy's drive-through AI. Was it here? No. That okay. Uh bacon ice cream and nugget overload sees misfiring McDonald's AI withdrawn. Interesting. Okay, that is not what I was looking for. Wendy's AI drive-through. Oh, okay. Well, I can't seem to find it, but uh, apparently Wendy's is putting AI, some sort of AI tool, as your like front, the first thing that takes your order for whatever you buy at Wendy's. I haven't been to a Wendy's in years. Um, ah, No, it was something new. Something just I just saw it. But yeah, people like, oh, this is terrible. I want to speak to a human when I deal buy my burger from Wendy's. Like, if it gets an order right, who cares whether it's a AI or some, you know, 16-year-old high school student? I don't know. Let's see. I think electric used for running models. Uh, a small amount of Engelsman, Finland. We talked about your typing ability and autocorrect. I have no idea. I think you electric used for running models were the small amount of time difference versus cost is interesting. Okay. Um, hmm. I agree that companies should be open about AI usage. Absolutely. Definitely be open. If a company is using an AI service somewhere, it's also has to accept whatever it says. I mean, if as we saw from the Air Canada, where the chatbot responded with saying, "Here's how you'll get a refund because you're doing a bereavement fare," and then when they actually tried to get it, Air Canada said, "No way, that was a chatbot. We're not responsible." And a judge said, "Yeah, you are." Last bit of interesting news is this one. Midjourney says it's getting into hardware. I saw this come across a bunch of different articles saying basically the same nothing. We're getting into hardware. If you want to join a team, email us. There's 100 people at the company so far, and just nothing else. It is, yeah, there's nothing here. But that is what sometimes news is, just a whole bunch of nothingness. Anyway, so that was basically the things I came across. I was a little bit late in getting my video for the Olama course out. I should have done it yesterday, and I did it, and I finally posted it a couple hours ago. And so then I was able to get to this, the news, and that's all I really saw that was interesting. Um, but what do you think? Let's stop sharing and go to this. How is my stream doing? Is it prettier? Is it better resolution? I think it is. It looks a whole lot better. I don't see it quite as aliased in the around the edges of the shirt. It used to be super blocky and just super compressed awfulness. So it looks a whole lot better. From Dave Becker, love the course so far. Great. I'm glad to hear that. Um, it's been fun making it. It's always Q&A time. I guess related to that, it's always happy hour somewhere in the world. It's functional. What high praise. I preferred your first comment. Love the course so far. Any other questions? I'm happy to take questions. I do have to leave. I have a kind of a hard stop at, well, it's a somewhat hard. I mean, it's a stop that I have to stop, but I'm not sure exactly when. It's probably going to be around 5:30, 5:45, because my wife is going. She's got. I did say. She's got a board meeting. I think. I'm not sure which board it is for. She's on a bunch. The res. Okay. Any questions? Questions, questions, questions. Um, I am working on a video for tomorrow. Working on a video for tomorrow that hopefully is going to be successful. Still working through the actual demo, but I'll be using. The thought is, if this actually the resolution, cool. It's functional. Oh, it's fun. The Well, if you saw the streams yesterday and before, it was definitely not functional. It was garbage. Later on, I would have to push up a cleaner version, but this is so much better. Um, so tomorrow's one is probably you'll see if this is actually the video that gets released tomorrow. You'll see how well my experimentation went tonight. But it's going to be about fine tuning using MLX. MLX? Yeah, MLX on the Mac. And then I'd like to get into fine tuning on Unsloth and what's the other one? I'm not sure about. I think Axolotl is supported as well. But if now in Olama, as of the release this morning or yesterday, you can do a from whatever base model and then adapter and point it to the um GGF adapter. I think that Axolotl, or at least I'm not sure if Axolotl creates it, but Onslaught does and MLX does. Um, so hopefully that's going to work. Hopefully I'll be able to get it done. Although I have to put my daughter to bed tonight, and that always is exhausting. So we'll see if that actually happens. Can you make a short video on connecting Olama answers to Obsidian? Yeah, I am super disappointed at the AI plugins for Obsidian. They could be so much better, and they're not. And a bunch of them have been. Some of them are just using the like it is the like an OpenAI API, so therefore it works with everything, except it's not really you're never going to get the best experience with Olama using that API versus the native API. It does. I mean, it's a lot better than it used to be, but still, it's you're always going to get a better experience using the native API. And nobody is doing that except for one Obsidian plugin that was done right at the big, like early on, and that guy's never touched the plugin since. It's like sitting there for 8 months or 6 months untouched. Dave Becker, 1024. 1024? Wow, it's a little bit better than 1024 by 768, but it's 1080p, I think, right now, which is actually 1920 by 1080, which is the max output that is so my camera can handle a lot better. It's a S52X, which I think I record everything at, for videos, I record everything at, what is it, 5600 by 40. It's 3x2, like really massive file, about 6K. And then I, format that down to 4K, and that's what gets published for most of my videos. And then, but for this kind of stuff, for streaming, I'm actually going from that machine, from that camera to a ATEM Mini, which I've had for a long time. ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, I think it is called. And I used to, when I was on the GH4 or GH5, um, I would record everything to an SSD, but this is much better resolution. I just haven't done that. A little bit better than that. I think I can't remember what it's It should be about 1080, although sometimes it compresses based on my upload um, speeds, which are bad. Do you know anything about semantic kernel's ability to call Olama with local tool functions? It does not seem to work. Semantic kernel. Semantic kernel. I don't know what semantic kernel is. So what are you saying happens when it tries to do local tool functions? Um, is it sometimes working, usually not? I mean, the if I assume it's using the newer method for the method for tool calling that was announced 2 or 3 weeks ago or a month ago. I'm assuming it's using that, and that requires very specific models to get it to work. It works better with the larger versions of those models. And even when you use those larger versions, it works like 60% of the time or 70% of the time. The older method, which for some reason people don't like to use, even though it worked 100% of the time, even for small models, yeah, people don't like to use it. I don't know. I totally do not understand why. But I'm not sure what's going on. Microsoft SDK works with Azure OpenAI. I want it to work with Llama 3. Llama 3 or Llama 3.1. I don't know if Llama 3 supports tool calling using that newer method, which I assume that is trying to use. Um, I still want the Go Fabric YT. Yeah, I know. You mentioned that, what, yesterday, 2 days ago? I know. I will. And save things to Obsidian. It's just saved as a MD file. Okay. Well, Obsidian is just a markdown file. So you could, instead of, well, I mean, when it saves as a markdown file, just move it into your Obsidian vault or have it saved to that Obsidian vault and you're set. Done. For me, it would be nice to have a model question wiki Vim, my note Vim noting plugin. All the files are marked on. Stats for Nerds. Is that a tool that you use, Stats for Nerds? Because I have often wanted a better way of seeing how, how are things doing. And I'd love to see how it was with the previous streams. Or is that oh, that's the button in YouTube. So when I go there, oh yeah, I'm getting warnings about lower stream quality. So if I right click and then, I know I've seen it. Stats for Nerds. Okay. So on the, oh, actually now I am seeing it at 1280 by 720. Before, when it was the super awful resolution, it would say that it was 1920 by 1080, and it totally was not. Now, when it's a much better quality, it's saying it's 1280 by 720. Still working it. Let's see. I wish I could understand documentation you read and then you know how to use it. Yes. Oh, 3.1. Okay, so you're trying to use Llama 3.1. I don't know how this semantic kernel how does it, what is the integration with Olama look like in this semantic kernel? Is it, oh, it's using the OpenAI compatibility, which I don't know if tool use has, um, I don't know if tool use has been added to the OpenAI API. Um, okay, so tools is supported. That's newer. Um, Again, that's that newer method. Can you stop YouTube from trimming audio? Tell me more about what you mean by that. I would love to know what you mean by can you stop YouTube from trimming audio? Camera is fixed. What was issue? Ah, so you're noticing that the stream looks a whole lot better than ever before. um, my issue that so it's still not as great as it should be. But there were a few other issues. There was one of them was Pi-hole was blocking certain URLs. It cuts dead sound. It cuts dead sound. I'm not sure. Are you dead? Well, I mean, if something's dead, I need. Are you saying that when I'm really quiet, you don't hear that? Is that what you're saying? You can't hear this because I'm really, really quiet? Or never mind. No, no. I want you to know. I want to know. I want to know. I mean, um, if I'm super quiet, okay. And now it's totally possible that like the noise gate on my um I've noticed that a couple of times on like the way I say anything that's plural with an S at the end tries to get rid of dead sound. What do you mean by dead sound? Just where I'm super quiet or as I'm my volume gets lower? Oh, noise cancellation? I don't have anything like that turned on. Ah, okay. I bet you're on Top Chat. I am. I went to live chat and then it went to it switched me. What did I miss? I don't see. Okay. Okay. So is it so thank you. So that could actually be on my end. Has it changed at all recently? Um, let's drop that a little bit further. We're all troubleshooting my connection, which is awesome. I'm dropping my threshold for my expander noise gate. We'll see how that changes things a little bit. Let's see. Oh, in all YouTube videos, not just mine. Because I've definitely had a problem where, especially as certain words, my voice kind of goes off a little bit of a clip, it goes really low at the end of the words, and then because of the settings on the noise gate, so if we want to go super nerdy, I've got my microphone is a Octava MK12, not quite a shotgun, but I can't remember what it's called. A microphone there, and that is hooked up to a Apollo Twin Quad X, um, which has a number of there's a channel strip, but at the end of that chain is a Neve DFC channel strip, which does have a bit of a noise gate on there. And I've been a bit aggressive on that noise gate, and I keep meaning to come in here to change it, and I always forget until after I actually do the recording. And so your comments reminded me, oh, I need to do that, even if it has nothing to do with what you're talking about. So I've adjusted it. We'll see if it makes an improvement in some of my videos. What I don't want it to do is to let you hear the guy mowing his lawn across the street, which actually it's doing right now. Okay, so that's a little bit better. We'll see how that goes. Any other questions? I don't see anything that I missed by looking at Chop Chat versus Live Chat. Um, yeah. Um, I mean, I can't. I mean, if while I'm talking, you're definitely going to hear the mower, especially where there's a second. The second after I stop. Oh, now of course the mowers went to the other side of the house. There's a guy across the street who's got like a sit down ride on mower, goes around. What is the pipe command? So it's not so much a command. It's you put the pipe at the end of the command, and that will pipe the output from the first command into the second command. Is that what you're talking about? Well, long you wait. I'm gonna do on Tuesday. I'll have going into a little bit more detail about about one of the components, probably the vector database, maybe embedding, um, and yeah. Okay. Let's see. Anything else I can change on this? Oh, I wonder. I wonder if somehow in all the settings it does say live quality is set to stream at 720. I wonder what I changed there. I might have to go in and um, figure out what happened there. Live quality. Weird. Okay, any other thoughts? I think my wife is about to head out, so I should go. So I know what I'm cooking for my daughter. Well, thanks all for being here for a little while today. Um, Again, this was the daily look at the news. A little bit later than I like to do it, like 7 hours later than I like to do it. 9 hours later than I like to do it. But yeah. Okay. A great. Thank you. Thank you for saying it's a great stream. It's what 1:40 a.m. in UK time or Finland time. Okay. Yeah, let's find that stop button. Love this time. Okay, good to know.